In a certain country, a zombie virus outbreak occurs, and those bitten or scratched by the infected become zombies themselves. However, there's a unique twist. Those turned into zombies occasionally regain human consciousness. Amidst the dense zombie horde, Saebom's friend Sun Young is trapped. Desperate for money, he risks his life to secretly film news about the zombies. Sun Young, who has a wife and child, has a strong will to survive. Unable to bear the sight, Saebom rushes in to help, single-handedly. She pushes the zombies back and attempts to rescue Sun Young, but as they try to escape, they find the doors locked from outside. In this critical moment, Lee-hyun arrives just in time.
너 괜찮아?
형아, 너 여기 어떻게 왔어?
다행이야. 늦지 않아서.
Saebom reassures Sun Young that everything will be okay. Guilt-ridden, Sun Young apologizes to Saebom, explaining that his actions were to leave more money for his family in case of his death. Meanwhile, the nation is shocked and horrified as Sun Young's secretly filmed footage airs on TV, causing public outrage and criticism towards the incompetent management. Unbeknownst to them, Tae-suk, who has been tirelessly working to control the virus, has also had his family infected. Tae-suk, after closing the door, removes his tie. Now that the public is aware of the situation, he is unburdened by concerns and ready to take bold and decisive actions. He heads to the drug dealer. Taking both the medicine and the dealer, Tae-suk needs to find out who else the dealer sold the drugs to. However, the dealer remains stubbornly silent. To deal with such a tough nut, Tae-suk locks him in with the zombies, giving him a taste of true despair. Meanwhile, Saebom is having a sweet video chat with her mother at home when they hear a loud noise from upstairs. Lee-hyun gets up to confront the noisy upstairs neighbor, leaving one to wonder what's really happening in that neighbor's apartment.
안녕하세요. 아래층 사는데 좀 시끄럽네요.
Joo Hyung, who opens the door, hurriedly explains that the noise is caused by his wife, Min-ji, who suffers from a mental illness and has been throwing and smashing things at home. Standing beside Joo Hyung is Sang-hee, visibly panicked. She's the woman hiding under Joo Hyung's bed. Sang-hee's panicked look made Lee-hyun see that something was wrong, but he couldn't ask too many questions without evidence. The next day, Lee-hyun encounters Sang-hee again. Before he can ask much, a frightened Sang-hee confesses everything. Joo Hyun's affair with Sang-hee was caught by Min-ji, his off-duty wife, and Joo Hyun beat Min-ji to death with a golf club. Shockingly, Min-ji resurrects as a zombie. Hearing this, a chill runs down Lee-hyun's spine, and he immediately calls Saebom. Knowing her impulsive nature could lead her to confront the noisy neighbor, the call connects, but it's too late. Saebom has already been pushed into the bathroom by Joo Hyung.
가고 싶어요?
SAE Bomb seems to understand the zombie's intentions, it just wants to leave and has no desire to harm her. Meanwhile, Ju Hyun, now frantically calling for help, plans to use the zombie Min Ji to eliminate anyone aware of his crime. Unexpectedly for Ju Hyun, the zombie Min Ji, furious and unrelenting, starts advancing towards him. In panic, Ju Hyun flees without even putting on his shoes. Seo Yoon, witnessing Ju Hyun's hasty escape, is about to warn him of the dead end ahead when she sees the zombie approaching her. At this critical moment, SAE Bomb rushes in to save Seo Yoon, fighting off the zombie. Just as the zombie is about to bite SAE Bomb, Lee-hyun arrives in the nick of time.
그런 거 같아.
The zombie is eventually taken away by the epidemic control team. Lee-hyun approaches Min Ji, informing her that he has evidence of her husband's crime and promises to bring Ju Hyun to justice. Lee-hyun then returned to the flat and took Ju Hyun away. Just as Lee-hyun was escorting Ju Hyun, SAE Bomb rushed over in a panic and hugged Lee-hyun. What could have happened next? As the sections of flap came down, it meant that the whole neighborhood was fenced off like a steel barrel. The military's stern readiness terrifies the residents, who are clueless about what's happening, only aware that their area is under quarantine. During this isolation, the supply of essentials becomes paramount. At this critical juncture, Tae-suk finds SAE Bomb and explains the situation. Tae-suk caught a drug dealer selling the zombie's virus. Initially uncooperative, the dealer confesses everything after being locked up with zombies and scared senseless. He had been collaborating with the local gym, deceiving residents into taking a drug under the pretense of weight loss. Which also induced euphoria. The drug gained widespread acceptance in the community, with too many people potentially infected and at risk of turning into zombies.
수고하셨어요. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 좋은 운동하세요.
There was no choice but to quarantine the neighborhood to prevent the virus from spreading. Hearing this, SAE Bomb is outraged. She's just moved in and this is happening to her. She'd had a hard time getting her own house, and she'd been locked up for doing nothing. She resolves to protect her new home at all costs. Tae-suk, initially intending to evacuate SAE Bomb because she possesses antibodies to the zombie virus, reluctantly accepts her firm decision to stay. SAE Bomb calls Lee-hyun to say goodbye and advise him not to return to the flat. However, to her surprise, they unexpectedly meet in the elevator.
나 혼자 남은 줄 알았어.
세봉아, 나 지금 저거 잡아야 되는데.
괜찮아. 아무도 못 나가거든.
Lee-hyun is, of course, bewildered, faced with the risk that any of their fellow residents could turn into zombies. Lee-hyun and SAE Bomb sit quietly on a chair, contemplating their next move in this precarious situation.